What's going on, swoopers? I bought this stray jacket off eBay because I've been told that I move around too much and I'm too animated. Shout out to that one guy on Facebook. I've had copious amounts of raspberry cordial, but this stray jacket's not going to hold me back. I'm still going to do what I do, and it's coming off. So, what's going on, swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Is This Really How I'm going to Have My Hair in This Video? Let's just skip the BS, jump right into it, and roll that intro. So, these predictions. Look, I'm bound to get one right and a million others wrong. At least I got the win right, so a little bit of a consolation. And all my big calls are better left unsaid. So, what a game that was. Everyone went in thinking, oh, you know, they've got 6 outs. Kale Hookers are laid out 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 points. I had people commenting, you know, 100 points or 90 points. It's like, you still had that doubt, you know. It's Essendon. They didn't really have to win to cement their final spot, or, you know, they did have a home final on the line, but GWS had to lose, and they're playing Gold Coast, and obviously, you know, as mean as it sounds, no one really fancies the Gold Coast to win that game at all. So they had nothing to win for and nothing to lose for, really. But what they did was give us a run for our money. And let me just cast your mind back to round 23 last year against Fremantle. Bottom 8 side, they had nothing to play for, nothing at all, and they took it up to us up until the last quarter when we kind of ran away with it. And it kind of had similar feeling this Essendon game, you know. They basically had not their B-side team in, but not a very decent side in, but the supporters got their money's worth and they did see a really good contest. In the first half of that first quarter, we did look okay. Essendon kicked a couple. It was kind of goal for goal, pretty much like the basketball, you know. It was going up one end, going up the other end, goal for goal, and then they just kicked away all of a sudden. Looked like we never got out of second gear, especially in that first quarter. We were letting them run off half back. I said in a previous video that, you know, we can't let Adam Sard or any of those guys run off the half back line or just run the ball through the middle, and that's exactly what they were doing. I don't think anyone was playing on Tipper that whole game because he carved us up. If Essendon don't offer him 750 or 800 or however much he wants, someone has to offer him more than that. I'd love to see him in black and white. He is a gun, an absolute jet, and he won the game nearly off his own, not off his own boot because of the goals he was kicking, but just his work rate, and we did our most damage when he wasn't on the field. It was a classic Collingwood slow start, an inaccurate Collingwood, but we rectified that throughout the game, especially after quarter time. Buckley must have got into him because we did play more defensive tightness, and we obviously went on to win the game. Like I just alluded to, it felt like we didn't get out of second gear unless we really needed to. Call it maybe self-preservation. You know, you don't want to get injuries before finals. That's why Essendon, you know, made 6 or 7 changes to their final team in that game. And at least we won the game, really. There's a saying that's like, you know, good teams find a way to win, and we're a good team. We've done it most of this season, you know, Carlton, St Kilda, think back to those games, Western Bulldogs as well. And it doesn't matter if you win by a point, doesn't matter if you win by 50 points, as long as you get those 4 points in the end. Roughhead kicking his first goal for the club. It was really good to see. I've been such an advocate for him being in the forward line. I love him up there. I'm kidding. I haven't been an advocate at all. We prefer him in defence, but it was good to see him kick that goal. Really strong mark. He took a couple of strong marks in that forward 50. The boys getting around him after that goal was good to see. But now with this fresh Moore injury, maybe we do see him down back for that final series. Brodie Grundy had another stellar performance. You may as well give him the Brownlow now because he has to be a smoky for it. And how many years did he want? 7. Give him 10. Give him 12. Sign him up. 3 years is just absurd, you know. He's just racking up midfield numbers, and it's just ridiculous that we offered him 3 years or, you know, whatever it was. We just have to throw the book at him. A blank check almost. He's an absolute workhorse. Covers the ground as a sole ruckman pretty much because Ruffy, you know, rucks maybe, what, 10-15% of the game. Not even 15% of the game. And, you know, Grundy had over 30 disposals. 21 of them were contested, 7 clearances, and he's just so smart with the ball, you know. He went up, there's this passage of play where in the middle of the ground, he went up to tap the ball. He got a hand to it, but he thought, no, I'm going to grab it and get that clearance into the forward 50. And just to think on the fly like that is just just sign him up, really. We gave ourselves the best opportunity to finish in the top 4. Yes, we've had some close games where we lost, we should have won, but now we did what we needed to do, won 4 in a row, won this last game especially, got a decent percentage. Now we do have to rely on other teams to lose, but we did give ourselves the best opportunity, and going into the finals with a win is a good momentum builder. So here are some quick fire likes. Pendle's all class. Whenever he had the ball, seemed to have lifted the team, and it's just an inspiring performance. Chris Mayne, such a renaissance since he came to the club. Went at 90% and is very underrated. Callum Brown kicking left and right foot. Everyone has to take a leaf out of his book. If a 20 or so year old can do it, everyone should be able to. Jamie and Checkers also kicked a bag. They kicked 7 or so goals between them. Adams is also finding his form. Over 30 disposals, a bunch of clearances, a bunch of tackles. It's great to see him perform. We had another inaccurate game, and it's just really not going to cut it going into the finals. 3 goals 6 in the second quarter, 2 goals 7 in the last quarter, and that could break you in an elimination final, kicking 10 goals, 16. We should have really beat Essendon yesterday by at least 30 or so points if we had converted those opportunities. Yesterday we were too predictable going forward. I was singing our praises last week with our Swoop squad, kicking 12 goals between them. Mychek didn't have to kick any, and Rufford didn't have to kick any. It seemed that the Essendon defence knew that we were going to Elliott whenever we had the opportunity. They were playing 2 players on him, and it wasn't like same size players, it was taller players. But what that means is, if there's 2 players on Elliott, there's a Collingwood player floating around the 50 free. We've got to start lowering our eyes and hitting free targets, not just going to Jamie. He's not like Cox, he's not 211 centimetres tall, puts out his arms and they can take the mark. He's smaller than that, and with 2 players on him, he's got like a 25% chance of making anything out of a contest like that. Leading on to that as well is our forward structure didn't seem to be up to standard yesterday. There was too many times where our midfielders were blazing away, kicking it high, and we didn't have any crummers around the ball when the ball was brought to ground. Essendon were always over the top of that. In the first half, before Hurley got injured, whenever we blazed away and kicked long, Hurley would stand behind the pack and just chip them off. Do that against West Coast and you're gone for it. We did that against Adelaide, lowering our eyes and hitting targets. So I don't know what happened in a week of footy. It's just ridiculous. Alright, now this one is just unselfish football. Football isn't about kicking 12 goals or getting 50 disposals. It is a team sport, but sometimes you do have to be selfish. And Travis Farko needed to kick that goal, just needed to spin and kick it over his head or left foot or right, whatever he could do, instead of trying to pinpoint a player. I know what he was trying to do, but obviously it didn't work out. And he went from Travis Farko to Travis Farko, my God. Some quickfire dislikes. Another Darcy Moore injury. They reckon it's just tightness and he was put off as a precaution. But when you can't finish out the game, it does ring question marks. It was the same hamstring that he injured more than a couple of weeks ago now. So he's in doubt for the finals. Another one is that players need to be confident on both sides of their feet. If you try and go onto your left or onto your right, you give the other players an opportunity to come and tackle you. 1 vote, Pendles, literally all class, and his ability to slow down the game is an asset to us. 2 votes, Checkers, another big bag, could have had 5, 6 or 7 goals had he been accurate, but he's going to be our focal point going into the final series. 3 votes, Grundy, of course, need I say more, absolute masterclass, racking up midfield numbers, give him that 12-year contract. Alright, now some super highlights, let's kick it off with Queen Pie 2010. Brodie Grundy, far out, how good is this guy? Super good. I don't know what else I can say. Super good. Old_mate Cade. That goal that Thomas kicked got us a bigger lead and got us going. There's a couple of Thomas ones. That_Dom_guy said, Will's taking on the game. Pendle's use of the ball. He's a magician. Elliott and Mychek providing good marking targets up forward. Official Collingwood News also said Thomas's crucial goal. Taylor Butterworth _ said definitely Ruffy's goal. Grace Cronan also said Ruffy's goal and how all the boys got around him. And Nick Hall 00 said Jeremy Howe's mark was amazing. Also Pendlebury's selling a bit of candy to 3 different players. If you haven't seen it, here's what Jeremy Howe's mark looked like.
Only a matter of time. He's always going to get one.
Alright, so that's it. The home and away season is done and dusted. On to the finals. The VFL just finished. Steve-O had a great game. Wells did okay. Sire got concussed, so it's hard to tell, you know, if he's going to play the first week. But I think Steve-O definitely comes in. I think Wells, if it's an elimination final, I'd play Wells 110%. He is a game changer. Look what he did Sydney. He played, what, 2 quarters worth of football, kicked 3 goals, and was very influential into us winning that game. I don't really see many of the guys dropping out besides injury, you know, with Darcy Moore or Josh Thomas if his knee's okay or not. But it's going to be interesting to see how we line up the first week of finals. Alright, so let's kick these shoutouts off with our big call. Tom York 3 said, check us to kick 4, as did Hazard.Noonan_7, also said 4 goals. So here's your shout out, guys. But with the margin, Luca_Tarantello89 said Pies by 15. We won by 11. He was the closest, so here's your shout out, dude. Also, I forgot to add it on my last video. My 250th subscriber, Taylor Butterworth, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Also, I appreciate all my new subscribers and all my old subscribers. You make me one happy dude, so thank you everyone, and thank you Taylor for that 250th. So just, what a wild season it's been, you know. Hopefully we finish top 4. If we don't, we got 4 into the row. We're getting some guys back. We've seen a team win it from outside of the top 4 before, you know, the Bulldogs in 2016. Can we replicate that? Who knows? All I know is I'm super excited. Finally, you know, back in finals 2 years in a row. It feels good, and this has kind of got a tinge of 2018 to it. So let's ride this wave, have some fun, and, you know, let's just see where it takes us. Alright guys, so this has been my review of the final game. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, I'll swoop you later. Alright guys, this has been my review. Again. Alright guys, this has been... Advocate. Advocate? What the f is advocate? That was pretty good. I like that one. South High Five. And I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany's? She said, I think I remember that film, and as I recall, we both kinda liked it.
So what's your deal? You one of those girls who's all dark and mysterious, and she takes off her glasses and that amazingly scary ear spike, and you realize that, you know, she was beautiful the whole time?
250 a subscription.